And here's the inside of the garage. It's kind of a mess right now, but back in this little nook, starting at about the grill, back to about here, there was about 6 or 7 little tables, sawhorses, different kinds of ways of holding work up. The router table was back there too. So I wanted to combine the router table and the table saw. And I came up with this. That's a lot of the inner structure. This whole back will be covered probably with pegboard or something flat because there's no way to go in from here. Then around the side is where I cut, not very well, but I cut for the router table. Then here's like a safety switch that came off of a different router table I had. And I made these drawers for assorted storage. It'll probably mostly be router related. I haven't decided what to do on the bottom yet. I'll probably just panel it in and make storage for big stuff. All that down there right now, that has different homes. So it's all 2x4 construction, then lag bolted in all the joints. So it's pretty solid. It'll hold a ton of weight. And here's the dreaded table saw. Again, underneath that'll probably get paneled in. No doors or drawers, but there'll probably be a bin underneath to collect sawdust. Because you can probably see in here, there's a hole cut through the bottom of the saw. It's mounted to the wood there. But it gives me a good straight shot of outfeed. So yeah, I'd be able to get a big sheet of plywood. Now this is from a dead stop. I don't have the wheels locked, but you can see it takes a little bit to get it going, but once it's going, it spins around really well. This side will end up being like the other side. I might get 6 drawers on this side and just leave the bottom open, because you can see I started putting long clamps down there. Right now there's just some junk stacked up. I'm going to see if I can push it in there with one hand. And since all 4 wheels swivel, you can just stop right where you're at. Stop right where you're at and get to where you can. Yeah, I need 2 hands for this. But it ends up right where all the other tables, including the table saw, used to be. So that just opens up the whole garage for more shop activities or parking a car. That left side, those are shelves that I need to fill up. I just built those 2 weekends ago. There's my first welding project. That's just a wood rack. You can see I don't have a lot of wood there. And all this wall space, all this space is wasted. I want to put shelves all. This here was a couple weeks ago. And you can see that stuff goes all the way to the ceiling. But yeah, it's all in the shambles right now. But eventually it'll all be done. Alrighty, that's all. So here's a detail of the router base side. The hole's kind of jagged, but I tried to do straight edge and trace the plate. And I should have picked one or the other, not both. But there's the opening where it all sits. You can see the table saws on that end. This is a pre-bought plate that I've had for probably 20 years. I got little levelers. The plywood was too thin to cut rabbets in, so I got drywall screws at each corner to keep it level. So anything that's high or low, I just raise or lower the drywall screws to level it off. But the router goes in here first, drops down. I drilled an extra hole to pull it out when there's a bit in here. And today I cut these slots. They're like keyed so that these carriage bolts can drop down in. And I never had it like that before. The old router table I had, you had to go underneath and do it. But I built this fence quite a while ago. It's got some dust collection hole. Let me put it in real quick and I'll show you. But those carriage bolts just drop right in. And then you adjust wherever you want the fence. Just for shits, I'll put it right here. Tighten up the underneath carriage bolt. Usually on a router, the fence doesn't have to be straight just because it's a round bit. So now it's not going anywhere. And also, wherever you put it, you'll be able to adjust this fence to capture more chips with the, what do you call, dust removal. Then you just close these down on the bit. And if you need to move it, inch, quarter inch, half inch, whatever, it just moves out of the way like so. Then you readjust the opening. And that's that.